Why do so many guys start to feel more socially confident when they go on a NoFap journey? Well, let's talk a bit on what could be going on, but before we do, take a look at this poll I made on my YouTube channel. The question was, do you feel that NoFap makes you less timid and less shy? And out of more than 2,000 votes, here are the results. As you can see, only 8% answered no, for me it does not. And 69% answered yes, for me it does. And then only 23% said, I'm not sure yet. So a clear majority of guys say that NoFap makes them less timid and shy. And this is nothing new. I've seen guys mention this over and over again since I started my own reboot back in 2012. Scandinavian Bob here, hi. Yeah, real voice and person behind this video who has been involved in the porn addiction community for more than a decade now. So if you're getting tired of all these fake AI videos out there, consider subscribing. So what could be going on here? Well, there are probably several reasons for it, but here's the biggest one in terms of biology. Do you recognize yourself in this? You're sitting there at night with an adult site open and doing your thing, and you click on a video you think looks hot. You watch it for a while, but already after 30 seconds you become a bit bored, and so you click to another suggested video and start watching that one. And now you only watch for maybe 20 seconds, and again you click to another suggested video. Or maybe you search for a different category. But the point is you're jumping from one video to the other like there's no tomorrow. Because here's the thing, novelty spikes dopamine. You see, when you start your porn session, your dopamine levels shoot up in anticipation. You start watching your first porn clip, and what's happening here is that your dopamine levels actually start to drop down a bit pretty quickly. This is when you start feeling a bit bored and switch to a new video, and boom, your dopamine levels shoot back up again, and so you watch that one until the levels start to drop a bit again. And then you instantly again click to another, click to another, again. So with the help of the endless amounts of videos and novelty online, you can override your natural satiation mechanism and keep your dopamine buzzing far longer than what's good for you. And listen carefully now, because here's the deal. When you override your natural satiation mechanism and you keep your dopamine super high for a very long time, your brain will start to go, now there's too much dopamine here. I need to protect myself. And it does so by reducing the number of dopamine D2 receptors. Now, dopamine can only do its job by binding to those receptors. And if you have less of them, you are now less sensitive to dopamine. This is not good. It is called desensitization. And it's what's causing tolerance and causes guys to need more and more stimulation to get the same effects. And thus, it's very common for guys to start escalating into all kinds of weirder and more shocking stuff online. Now, desensitization is not the shocking part here. In fact, it's very common knowledge in the addiction literature. But check this out. Studies show that, for example, dominant monkeys have more of those small dopamine D2 receptors than the submissive monkeys have. And so now you say, yeah, so what? But here's the deal. In animal studies, they have tested giving a drug to the animals that blocks those D2 receptors. And they have found that by doing so, it wiped out the social hierarchy within the group. With less dopamine D2 receptor functioning, the alpha males became normal beta males. And so now you say, okay, that's more interesting, but surely humans must be different, right? Well, no. Our dopamine system works the same way. And here's the final nail in the coffin, because they have done research on humans as well. A study conducted in 2009 found that, quote, lower levels of social avoidance are associated with higher dopamine D2 receptor binding, unquote. In other words, lower levels of D2 receptors correlates with more social fear, and more D2 receptors in humans correlates with less social fear. It has been proven both in animals and humans that those with higher social status have more D2 receptors in the brain, and that those who are leaders and so-called more alpha have more of those dopamine D2 receptors. Now this is so interesting and perhaps something for you to consider the next time you start thinking of going on a porn binge. By clicking from video to video for hours at end and frying your dopamine receptors, you are literally fapping yourself into more of a beta male. Yeah, so I personally think that this is one of the biggest biological reasons for why guys who do NoFap start feeling more alpha again. It's because they stop clicking on those nasty videos, stop jumping from video to video, and because of that the desensitized reward system will reverse as the brain grows new D2 receptors. And then by having more receptors again, the guys start feeling much less socially timid and shy compared to how they did a few months earlier. Now, of course, there are psychological reasons at play as well, and it's probably a big difference from individual to individual when it comes to that.
And speaking of dopamine and excitement for life, if you want to know if your dopamine system is currently working for you or against you, and how much corn has potentially affected you, you can take my free dopamine quiz right now by using the link under the video. Just click on that right now to get your own personal dopamine score. And okay guys, if you want to know why I personally decided to give up adult sites, I reveal it all in this video right here. This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. Consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.